people that go adventuring on the sea.
So, yes, so starting things off a little more properly. Last left off with you all getting to Nippur, and basically you all went your separate ways, more or less, for the evening, I assume. Some of you went off to get, most of you went off to get drunk. Some of you socializing with certain members of the group. And basically, I assume we're going to wake the next day with everyone still back on the ship, just having had the little evening of R&R and coming back.
I didn't know if we were or not. I personally, with Stallone, was going to look for the crappiest bar on the docks.
I think you can cover. Yeah, we already covered like some of the basics already of what you've been doing with your R&R. Like you mentioned, Azina and Thelona having their conversation about Azina not really being a pirate.
Yeah, she's actually going to start referring to herself as Azina the Pirate Hunter from now on.
Or the Azina, the pirate formerly known as...
The Pirate Hunter formerly known as Azina the Pirate.
Yeah, there we go.
No, Thelona was just looking for a really good bar fight.
Well, obviously after a bit of talking, it's like, head hurt, let's just clear it.
Yeah, actually, I think you were still recovering from the shit that happened in the dungeon, so I don't see why you would go to try to get in a bar fight.
I think there was at least a day or two.
Because a bar fight is normal. A bar fight is not demonic, what the fuck.
That's also true, and it's not going to be nearly as difficult as the fights they've been having lately, but also I believe you still had like at least a full day on the water. So she has rested and gained some of her issues good to be thrown out the window. Now, you had at least one night on the river, so I believe after another night's rest, Thelona should be fully back in functioning.
But for some reason I had thought we had agreed that our characters were just going to sleep on the ship and go in town the next day, but I can't remember. It's been like a month.
Yeah.
All I remember was we ending with Thelona going, "Come on, get up, let's go get drunk." Yeah.
And then most likely half the crew immediately falls anyways at some point or another.
Well, so
where do you think the rest of the crew is? Let's stop and listen for a bar fight.
Okay, so I'm going to say that while I probably would have went to a tavern too then if all of them were, and I would ask the bartender if there's any kind of like bounty board or anything in the town.
How do I want to go about this? I would say that the basic response you get is that there's not so much a bounty board. There are occasionally wanted posters whenever a particular party of trouble comes up. Like recently, the wanted posters have been going down for some critters that were to the north of the city that have been now finally wiped out, and the caravans are running normally again. So it's no longer an issue. So at the moment, there's like nothing major that they are having to deal with. Just more whispers that the Stygians are a pain in the ass and constantly keeping an eye on the South Banks.
Right.
But that's old. Oh, that's such common news. It's almost old news.
Yeah, I think Elena is gonna take Theobald and do some kind of research, but not what you think. She's gonna look up information about demons, but not in the way you're thinking. More, not in the way of like studying about demon summoning, but more like how do you ward off demons and stuff like that, and like defensive things to help against demons or devils or whatever.
It's easy. You just pray to Mitra.
Well, actually, to that point, Theobald can actually give you some of that information due to his particular skill set. He'll openly admit to you, though, that he's not, as of yet, powerful enough within Mitra's house to be allowed to do such things, but he does have spells and incantations that he'll eventually be able to reach for that will allow him to essentially almost turn undead, but against demonic types. If not, at the very least, heavily weaken them.
Okay. Then actually, that's an interesting idea. So what kind of worship is done in this town? Like, what deities? Is it any of them, or just?
I think we discussed that last time.
I think we were trying to very briefly
were.
cover that, and we were kind of in a hurry. Here, I believe there's a list I can pull up again really quick. Frau.
It wasn't a lot of. It was a lot of. Basically, each city state there has like their own patron deity.
Something to that effect, but they also didn't want to describe the detail what those deities were. That was my one problem. Although there was one, was it Ishtar or something like that most of them believe in anyways.
Correct.
So yeah, if there's anything that you find very commonplace for religion, it's Ishtar essentially.
Okay. So odds of finding a Darketo temple or a small one at least would be
very unlikely.
Very unlikely.
Very, very unlikely.
Mitra temple would be more easy to find, right?
Maybe. This is not Mitra's main territory.
Yeah, if you wanted a place that would openly worship Mitra very easily, you'd have to go a couple countries north.
It might be easier to find a Mitra. It might be easier to find Mitra temples in this country on its western coast, where it's closer to Argos, which is part of Aquilonia.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might find the occasional open worshiper there, but over this far in,
So, I'll guess Delana will ask, Theobald, what do you know about Ishtar? Is he a good deity, or?
That's a good question. Actually, let me see if he can roll high enough to know, because that might even be out of his purview. Although I do believe he has a history thing.
I think he has a religion thing.
Or a history religion.
Yeah.
Theobald. Would he know anything about Ishtar? Oh, my mode. Yep, turn that off. Oh wait, he's on disadvantage.
That was the first roll.
There we go.
Oh.
That's a proper roll without disadvantage. That's also pretty high too. Essentially, what he can gather up, he seems to understand the basic idea of Ishtar, which is that she is a earth goddess, and not really a bad deity per se, although there's a lot of stuff pinned to her. Well, like, in fact, the region you're in right now, which is Shem, there's also a lot of money attached to her because of what the locals suffered, and that the fact that praising Ishtar and becoming semi-wealthy of a country has been the reason they managed to save themselves from the Stygians. So her being attached to not only good, but also the goodness that wealth brings is kind of a thing here. But she is still considered basically an earth goddess.
Gotcha.
But then again, gems, gold, etc. all come from the earth, so it's gotta be a part of Ishtar.
Theobald. Wait, is Azina on the ship still, or is she out looking?
likely already out drinking with some of the crew.
All right, Theobald, do you think? Don't take this the wrong way, but would Azina be against having another crew member on the ship?
Theobald kind of blinks, looks confused for a moment. How do you mean?
Well, I feel like we're going to be up against a lot of demons in this coming battle, and the more help we can get against them, the better. Do you think we can get a cleric from Ishtar to help us fight against these demons alongside you to have better chances of winning?
You just see him give you a cold stare. You just basically called him useless as job in the nicest way possible.
I'm saying you're useless. I'm saying improving our chances.
We will talk about this later. Amelie now starts that up to drink too.
Ironically, Thelona already mentioned our crew needs to get bigger. You didn't specify like certain jobs, but
No, that's because Thelona's thinking about a bigger boat.
yeah, like a warship.
Yes.
We be running a battle cruiser.
We're in this tiny little boat, and we're supposed to take out, the freaking giant ass pirate king ship.
It's kind of funny. It's funny you call it a tiny little boat when it's actually the third upgrade we've had. We started with a rowboat, and then we got a keel boat, and then we got this boat after we took it from another group of pirates.
I would laugh that the enemy ship that we're hunting, if its name was the Red October. Just saying.
Doubtful.
Okay, so one other thing I want Azina to try and ask around about, because I know we mentioned that this area has a lot of slave trade.
That's just basically Hyborian in a nutshell. Everyone's enslaving everyone at least to some degree.
Well,
you don't exactly 100% escape it, but there are some places better than others.
except for Aquilonia, because did Conan?
In Aquilonia, yes. While Conan was king, he did in most versions get rid of slave trade there, and enforced it on some of their allies. So Argos and Zangara might also be very low on slave trade too in most places.
Well, I was gonna see if there's a slave auction or anything tomorrow while we're here.
So it'll be something you'll want to do the next day. Anything else you guys want to do the night you were there, or are we going into the next day right away?
I don't know if I'm gonna leave the boat.
You're kind of unsure. You're just like, you know what? I think I'll just stay here.
I as safe as as comfortable as I'd probably feel with the crew now, maybe.
Just feel like more eyes are better than none.
I've got this thing with me,
The thing which, by the way, I believe you've not mentioned to anybody else yet.
Huh? What's that? Oh yeah, I have not mentioned the artifact. My special little thing.
You shouldn't have mentioned out loud.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. You just forget that. Just forget I said anything. It's fine.
No metagaming.
Is that a pineapple in your robe?
No, I'm just happy to see you. Ah.
Alright, I'm just gonna probably stay on board the ship and kind of pray to myself.
I think Valena is gonna seek out Azina if she's not too busy drinking.
She wasn't really gonna be drinking. She was more information gathering than anything.
Well, you've been doing a little bit of both. You do some sociable light drinking, but obviously you're still paging through all the information you can.
Actually, that would be a neat idea. Valena's gonna go to the Temple of Ishtar or whatever it's called.
There's probably at least a couple of decent sized Ishtar temples in town, yeah.
And she seeks out a priest or whatever.
At this hour? They're probably asleep.
They're
Well,
probably...
there's always the late shift.
Yeah, there's a late shift.
There's always like one or two guys on the late shift that'll wake everyone else up if there's something going on.
All right. And she just comes in the door, knocks it, and goes, "Hello, is there anyone that can help me with information on services for the Church of East Star?"
You just get one man, like medium dark complexion, no hair, nice robes all the way from his shoulders down to his feet. Yes, how may I help you?
Do you offer services to bless ships or put spells of protection on them from any kinds of unnatural evil?
You see him kind of ponder for a moment. It's not a normal thing, especially for outsiders and foreigners to suddenly ask for blessings of Ishtar, but he kind of seems to know that there's something about this and has a few thoughts, and he goes, well, there's a couple of things you may do to gain Ishtar's blessings. One of which he motions to a essentially they're near the front but not all the way up to the front. Off to one side there is a selection of like almost devotee candles, and you see as he gestures to it, if you pray to Ishtar and light a candle, usually we believe that Ishtar can hear your prayers and will frequently help. If that's not enough for you, he does gesture over to one of the other priests, if you will, who is basically going over a book and actually does have a inkwell and a feathered pen, and it seems to be going over some text and also translating some of it or something to that effect. Otherwise, brother, the books may be able to help you. If you wished some sort of more physical blessing.
Well, how do I put this delicately? Me and my companions have traveled many far and wide across the lands, and we have this frequent problem of dealing with demons, and we're wondering if Ishtar's blessings can help us ward away demons or anything that can help to fight against demons. Is that a possible blessing or something to help with that?
He kind of blinks slightly. Having frequently dealt with demons seems a bit odd to him, obviously. But then he reassures you that the options I've laid before you are definitely choices you may take to seek blessings again and of protection against such nefarious enemies.
All right. Thank you kindly.
He bows. He bows quietly, and then slowly seems to be going back to what he was doing at the front of the temple.
She goes to the man with the book.
Okay, so you walk up to this man who's off to the other side, from the other side, barely visible from the shadows as he has his own little light. But the shadows, the rest of the room is very overshadowed towards his direction, but the light is enough to keep him visible and also allow him to read through the book. He is a much older man, like, I say much older, I mean much, much older. The wrinkles have set in pretty deep on this guy, and he is even sometimes quietly mumbling to himself as he writes things, pages through, and writes something again. It's in a language you don't know, most likely Shem.
Mm.
After a few moments of doing this, he finally does look back up to you. Yes, what may I help you with? He scribbles again.
Yes, I'm part of a ship crew where we've had many frequent we've had problems with demons in the past, and we may have more problems in the future. And we're wondering if we can get blessings, prayers of protection or anything, or maybe even hire a priest of Ishtar to be aboard the ship to help us on our journey against any frequent, any future dealings with demons.
Our brothers this far in do not frequently leave the city. We are always watchful of the Ishtar's enemies from the south. However, slowly his slender hand that was normally holding the book reaches out. These almost skeletal-like fingers slowly open up. For a gold, I can write for you a protection spell that you may leave on your boat. As he's literally just leaving his hand out perfectly for a gold piece, he is still writing the other book.
I'm checking my money situation. Oh yeah, I got. Oh.
I'm pretty sure you have plenty. I'm pretty sure you have plenty.
Yeah, you forgot the big payout we had last time.
I forgot about the payout. So Valena hands him a platinum.
He feels the sudden weight of it and immediately his eyes open wider to look at it. Interesting. Slowly, the very bony fingers clasp around it. The hand pulls back into his robe for a moment to apparently to let it go, and then he reaches out with the same hand, pulls out a free piece of paper off to the side of his table he's writing on. He takes a big dunk of the pen into the inkwell, and you just see this man, this old man who's been slowly writing all this weird stuff, just super fast and very intricately detailed. He makes this long Shem script across this piece of paper, and after a few moments, it's done. It just looks like this. You're not sure what it even says, but it looks very nice and very official, and it's on this long piece of paper. This shall protect your boat from most demons, and holds it out to you as to drape across your arms. Normally, I don't give that one out, but for the amount of coin you've helped our temple with today, I think it's worth it. And his hand slowly goes back to the original writing he was doing. Good luck on your journeys, adventurer.
And many blessings upon you. Thank you.
Indeed. And quietly goes back to his writing.
You already gave him many blessings, that big fat coin.
Holy shit, boys, we can eat for a week.
I require 1 gold. Okay, here's 10 gold. Okay.
okay, we're getting the good shit this month.
Hey, boys, break open the keg. We're celebrating. We made 10 gold.
It's Toppy Plays. The crazy outsiders are dropping money like it's raining or something.
Look, brothers, we can hire a hooker.
Bring out the priestesses if it's time. It's time.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Valena
Sounds
takes
like
Valena takes this parchment and when she gets back to ship and when Azina arrives, she hands the parchment to Azina and she tells Azina what it is, and basically that's a blessing to protect the ship from most demon attacks. So we have a greater advantage on our side against.
Okay, I kind of look at it and go, did he say how to use it?
Just to leave. All he said was to leave it on the ship.
As long as it's on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He goes, well, then I'll put it in my cabin when we get back to the ship.
And that's what Valena does for this night.
All right.
Look, boys, there's a sucker born every minute.
You know, I've heard the saying, a fool and his money are so bought it, but I never knew how quickly. You know, I also own a bridge in Aqualonia.
When did you own a bridge, sir? Well, with this money, I do now.
I don't think a platinum would be enough to buy a bridge.
Depends which one.
You can buy a bridge that's 2 feet.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're gonna jump to the next day then?
I assume if nobody else had anything else for that night. That's a lot of cricket chirps.
No. I'm pretty sure there's just the cut scene. You know that scene in Blazing Saddles where Mongo takes on the entire bar?
Oh, yeah.
That's probably what's going on in that bar.
Just Alona just petting everyone behind the giant table, just crushing them with her back. There's a bunch of men.
I'm just I'm sketching my stuff out in my cabin or cabin or whatever.
I can easily picture Felona punching a guy's horse.
Actually, that's more likely to be Geralt, to be fair.
Yeah, Geralt would punch the guy's horse, and the guy would have to shake his head.
You see, what has to happen is Geralt punches the horse, and he punched the horse so hard it turned it into a camel.
So you're saying he broke his spine and fused it back together again in one shot?
He bent reality and caused it to become a camel.
No punching to bend reality.
No, we're not. Yeah, we're not bending reality. Not even Crickle can do that.
And then Felona comes and punches a camel, and it rebends reality back.
Anyhow, so next day, I'm assuming after we eat breakfast or whatever. I'm going to.
And it's one of those where Thelona, I don't know what's for breakfast that day, Matt.
Well, if you're on the ship, it's the usual. It's not bad, but it's filling. And it's usually full of pancakes. Possibly, since you're also on the dock, you probably wasn't hard to find any other extra side meat like bacon and sausages, eggs, any other leftover meats that could be cooked up quickly, and of course the usual veggies and fruits if you wanted something.
You know that scene in Conan where they're eating gruel or something?
Oh, the bar after their big heist, and then they're just kind of burnt out. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what Thelona looks like.
But while we're still on the ship, I'm going to give Trent, the cook, a platinum out of the ship funds to go stock up on quality food and booze from like a grocer.
He takes the platinum and just kind of looks at it for a moment. Right, Cotton, right? And gets back to finishing up the little bit of extra breakfast yet.
Just to be clear, it's just a chef doing all the food, right?
There's him, and most likely some of the extra ship hands are helping once in a while when he needs it, but it's mostly him.
Yeah. I'm sure they help him a little bit when he's trying to prepare stuff for like the whole crew, but he's doing the cooking.
The cookson, yeah.
I could see him probably training them to chop things up for him and stuff like that, but not something that they're likely to screw up.
You chop that. You take that to the table. And don't drop it this time. Tugs him on the collar for a moment.
I'm gonna go. Is Azina on board the ship?
Yeah,
this is morning, yeah.
Okay. So everyone's back. I'm going to approach her and ask, well, excuse me, Captain, how long are we planning to dock here?
Maybe a day or two, but we won't be here that long.
I'm assuming there's no libraries or anything in town, is there?
You might want to ask Felena. I don't really look for those.
Oh. So, okay, I go off and I look for Velena.
Elena's just sitting there, properly eating her food, and then she just looks up and just, oh, hello.
Hello, madam. I was wondering, I was told that you may know whether or not there were libraries or anything around here. I'm looking to research this item, and I pull out the little sketch that I've done and show it to her kind of discreetly as possible.
Yeah, let's show a picture of a sacred item to a crazy mage.
So
What can
actually,
go
Well,
wrong?
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just a thing that we found out in the desert.
So here's
if the GM may interject, Helena, do a. I'm already pretty sure you're aware. There's most likely at least a small library here. It is a city big enough to be mapped, but also do a Arcana check for me, please.
Arcana. Got it. 23.
You get the biggest hairs in the back of your neck. There's something about this thing, but you're not sure what it is off the top of your head. This is a part of something.
So this is more like, to be clear, a piece of something greater, right?
This is an artifact that's used for something. Like a ritual, possibly.
It seems to be something like a ritualistic artifact. And there is
feelings from this thing.
I have done research into more forbidden studies before, so I don't know if the library will have information on this. It's a small library. Maybe if we go to a bigger city and there's a bigger library, we may have a better chance of researching it, if you would like my assistance.
Indeed. In fact, perhaps, my library is already here with you, Valena. Meaning that you would know maybe a little bit more about these things. Yes. I am loath to explain myself too much, but my people, we were exploring the southern Turanian desert and may have come upon something similar to this. Unfortunately, we didn't have much of a chance to explore. My comrades were murdered. I barely made it out on my own. And that's when I found you people. Your folk, I should say.
I don't want to sound intrusive, but were they murdered by bandits or something else?
They had design. They were corsairs, I believe. They had a black flag with an eclipse and a white outline of a raven over the eclipse, or maybe some other bird. I couldn't quite see. I was busy trying to escape as fast as I could with what little information from that area we had.
Sounds with the information sounds with the information I've heard to be the same ones that Azina may be hunting.
This disturbs me greatly.
I was gonna say, if you don't remember, do an intelligence check.
Who are you asking to do an intelligence check?
I was gonna say if Zeph could remember, then Valan needs to do an intelligence check.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this does sound like the pirate group that Azina is trying to chase down.
Why would you want to? Why would she want to chase after such brutal people? My homeland, I guess we just defend our place and.
I don't like to throw the word of revenge around, but we'll just call it justice.
Indeed. Well, back home at my monastery, we had a strong sense of justice. You know, of course, being Mitra and everything. But, Indeed. Perhaps these people will know anything about whatever this is, a statue or figure. Thank you, Valena. You've been much help to me. I'll keep my eye out for some other repositories of knowledge around here. There has to be something about this thing that we found.
I must warn you. I must warn you when seeking any knowledge, especially those of the forgetting kind. You use caution. You never know who's watching or what's watching.
Indeed. Mitra will defend me, but cannot defend me if I've gone and made a fool of myself and gotten myself trapped in a nasty situation. If I can think of anything more, I'll come to you. Right now, I'm quite tired, so I'm going back down to my cabin.
All right. So that's it for you two then, or at least for right now.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, so she's tired in the morning?
I've been up all night. I haven't actually slept.
No.
I've been sketching the figure and trying to figure out what the heck it means.
Right.
So now you have the hint that it might be part of a ritual, but that's about all you have so far.
And I have a hint that the people who slaughtered the archaeologist or the digger group were pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna look for Thelona.
At what state of the morning are you looking for her?
After breakfast.
After breakfast. So, Thelona, you might be feeling a little bit better. Something is in your stomach, and it's helping to slosh around with that alcohol.
Oh, it's not the alcohol. It's just... she's just kind of dead on her feet, that's all. Yes.
Oh, I have a somewhat easy task for you to help me with. You want to help me scout out possible recruits for the crew?
Well, if the bar I went to last night was any bearing, we're not going to find much here.
Well, I was planning on checking out a slave auction. Not to actually have them as slaves, but basically purchase their freedom and see if that makes them loyal.
Having those near me is a bad idea, but I will try to control myself.
You mean slavers, not the slaves themselves, I'm assuming?
Correct.
So I take it then you two go off to the market to find anybody purchasable that would look seaworthy.
Yeah, or able to look like they might be able to be trained to be a decent fighter.
Alright. I am going to do some secret dice rolling, and I'm going to see what your chances are. It seems like this slips further and further down the list. Well, I'm gonna give you that, and we'll see what we go. Alright. So you go to the markets. It's not a massive market. You've seen and heard worse things near Hyboria. But there's still plentiful amount of people here, either caged up or cuffed up and either awaiting appraisal by people just passing through, or a couple of them, the sellers are obviously trying to lure people in for an easy buy. Obviously give them a pass because that's not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
In total, though, looking for bigger, stronger people that look like they could do with a second chance and could still be useful, I'd wager you could find about 9 of them.
9.
Mm-hmm.
How much would it cost to get all of them?
I'm trying to think how much a fair... I mean, it's not like, again, it's not like this is Hyperborea. If that was Hyperborea, that'd be big money for big, strong, brutish types that look like they're not completely head full porridge either.
Can I tell nationalities of any of these?
Nationalities, like maybe, let me see here. Like maybe 1 or 2 of them are Stygian. One of them looks like they might be a couple of them look like they might be Zamorian or Turanian. A couple more look like they're Argosian, or also one of them even looks like they're possibly Aquilonian, and a few of them look like they could be from further north. Like the last couple look like they could be further north, like Asgardian or Vanheim.
Well, I would go
Oregon.
up to that one and basically ask, now, what are you from?
The last one.
Yeah.
The basic reply you get back in Valheim is a long ways away from here. Bigger guy, maybe a little bit older, but not like massively old, like 40-ish.
I meant specifically.
And I need a better map for that.
Like whether it's from Vanaheim or Asgard, I'm guessing.
That is pretty much, yeah,
Oh, you're asking region, not like actual city?
correct.
I'm from Valheim. Vanaheim, rather.
I see, Veneer.
He kind of still sitting there, kind of not sure what to do, just kind of looking at the ground.
Yeah. If he does anything stupid, he'll probably get whipped.
Most likely.
And what are your feelings on the Asgard?
Be better company than the people here. Kind of it kind of does like a half glance off to the slide to one of the slavers. Most of these slavers are obviously Shem.
That is a more enlightened statement than most of your folk.
He kind of blinks, looks back down again. I am a walked man. I've seen many things.
I'm assuming Azina probably notices Lona talking to this guy.
Yeah, even if you can't quite pick up the lingo, you probably at least get the idea. Notice that they're talking
Switching.
a slight bit.
Switching back to the more common tongue, how much for this one?
That's what I was trying to work out. Honestly, yeah. I'm just gonna say that they kind of look at him. Older guy. He's a bigger guy, but he's also a bit of an older guy. Yeah. 10 gold.
Lona will pull out a platinum piece and just hand it.
The man that was there, the words trying to think, can't get them. The merchant there that was basically watching over slaves with his guards, just kind of blinks as platinum is just easily dropped in his hand. He then quickly looks up to the guards, snaps his fingers, and then in a few moments they are over and uncuffing the man.
You will come with me. I will let you free, but in return you will serve service on our ship.
He kind of blinks, not sure if he quite is believing what's happening, but then quietly nods. All right, and slowly gets up after he's finally uncuffed.
I am Thelona Ymir's daughter.
You see his head kind of tilt back and his eyes kind of go like, "What the fuck?"
Are all of them going to be 10?
Yes.
Are all of them going to be 10 gold? Or
basically, about majority of the guys that you're looking for, they're like, again, they're not like top tier ones that they're trying to push. They're more interested in certain other things down in these parts, but about the rough price for most of them is going to be about 10 gold, yeah.
so I'm basically just buying up the few guys they got that are worth using for manual labor.
So basically, you can drop 9 platinum and just get all these guys. And yeah,
Well,
they
that
would
was
have been
one-
mostly manual labor or other things like it.
Lona already bought one of them, so that would mean it'd
So
be
another 8
80.
platinum, yeah.
80 gold. I'm going to take that out of the ship fund. That would to
What is your name, Veneer?
Oh gosh. Coming up with names on characters on the fly.
Oh, I know. I gotta do this on Fridays. Fortunately, my game's a dark future, well, actually kind of dark modern. So I can come up with normal names. Although I do have to come up with racial names. Like, Jesus and Paco.
Paco Jesus, that's his name.
No, that's 2 different people.
I know. But
Well, this one's called Paco Jesus, and this one's Jesus Paco. And you know why they're in rival gangs. You know what? I'm gonna keep it easier for my brain. His name is Conan.
Okay. Well then, Kainen, is there a weapon that you prefer to use?
This is so happening so fast for him. He kind of is left a little speechless at first with all these questions. And he kind of like, I've used many weapons. I've used club. I've used axe. I've used sword. He
I
kind of
ask,
shrugs.
what do you prefer?
Prefer.
As you can see, I am one for the sword, but
he kind of just shrugs and just goes, I guess I could go for another sword.
I am asking because we will provide. You're on our ship. If we get boarders, you will have to repel. Therefore, you need a weapon.
He nods.
at this point, I'm going to walk over and introduce myself because I obviously noticed that Thelona has purchased him.
Oh, so basically just do the usual, I'm the captain, etc.
Yeah, I'm the captain.
Kind of introduces himself a bit and nods and seems to get the general gist of this, although he's noticing a peculiarity of having a mostly female group so far.
Since you seem to actually know how to handle yourself with a weapon, if any of the other guys we're picking up here need training, would you be able to help with that?
I've had my use around whipping. I can definitely help.
Okay. So obviously, I already subtracted the money from the ship fund, so I am gonna buy all of them.
just marching the new guys in.
Yeah. And I'm assuming this is where we're probably done and heading back to the ship.
Yeah, so anyone who's still staying in the ship, you hear quite the good bit of a commotion as 9 new guys are being paraded onto the ship. They look like they've been worse for wear, but as soon as they are quickly ushered into the kitchen for real food, you just see their eyes light up and immediately start helping get rid of the remains of breakfast.
Yeah, I come up out of my room like yeah, I do have my own individual room, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I think we
Yeah,
discussed that last
most of
time.
these characters are now in shared rooms, so yes, a few rooms are open.
And
yeah.
while they're eating, I kind of propose a toast. I go, welcome. Your lives may have been miserable until recently. Or mostly recently, actually. But you can now look forward to a much more prosperous life, helping us make the sea a better place for everybody.
The majority of them race to the sea, and quick downing of drinks.
I'd probably sneak like a quick drink and some like food on a plate or something like that before they eat it all. Because I haven't eaten yet.
Well, by this point, it's like almost afternoon. It's your fault for not eating with the everyone else at breakfast.
Someone will go, I need to use the ship's funds myself. If we are getting more people, I will need more bows.
All right. How much? Well, how much? That I forgot how much bows cost.
I am looking for my book, which is above my head. Back down again, and let's see here. I have this
short bows or long bows?
Long bows we need because range on the water.
50 gold a pop.
If they're not proficient, they technically cannot use a longbow.
Yeah, it is a martial weapon.
Can they be trained?
I think it depends on if they actually have a character class or not.
And technically, NPCs do not have a class, so...
How do people actually use ships in this game? Because bows are pretty much your main target-to-target combat.
Honestly, that's my number one issue in 5th edition. There's just not enough ship information and stuff like that.
The thing is,
use slings.
Short bows wouldn't be completely useless. They just wouldn't have as long a range. They'd have to wait till they get closer because that's like 80 feet as opposed to 150 feet for their non-disadvantaged range.
There's crossbows. Are those?
Yeah, but everything you're talking about, Aaron, has a shorter range.
Yeah, crossbows have shorter range.
Slings.
What about javelins?
Actually, technically, a heavy crossbow has longer range than a short bow. But
yeah, heavy does have a longer range, but they're still martial weapons again.
They also don't have as fast a rate of fire.
And any throwing weapon is not going to have as long a range as a bow.
Well, what did they do when? Wait, does this ship have actually cannons on it, or
no?
This is like
No.
Conan?
This is pre-gunpowder.
We have two catapults.
You have two catapults. If there's any place that might have a smidgen of gunpowder, it would be in the area of Argos and Zingara, and even then, it's possibly cutting-edge technology and not something widely used yet.
That's actually another thing. Is if they can't use a longbow, they could technically
they could all be arming the catapult. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of having the guys that are actually more proficient with weapons arming the catapults.
I mean, you'd have to look at how ship-to-ship warfare was done before gunpowder.
It was done with bows.
Bows, catapults, and ballistae.
I say get 4 more. I guess maybe 4 more longbows just to make sure we have them. But like, I'm not gonna assume all of these guys are gonna be able to use a longbow. That would be what? That'd be 200 gold to get 4 more longbows.
About that, yeah.
I'm sure, like the veneer guy will probably be able to use them, but some of them might not actually be trained fighters and might not. It'd be hard enough just getting them to learn how to use melee weapons properly. But it does give us more hands for when we eventually get a bigger boat.
Yeah, I'm just still trying to get that simultaneous fire arrow bit going on.
Volley!
Yeah, exactly. Volley fire.
Volley! And the enemy ship is gone, and it's all in flames. Bye-bye.
Since there's no bounty board or anything else, does anyone else actually have anything they want to do in the town?
You want to take a chance on the small library, but other than that, no.
No, we came here for resupplies and start looking around and seeing if we can find where the big shipyards are.
Hmm.
Okay.
And yeah, speaking of resupply, while this has all been going on, most likely the chef has gone out to get all that resupply and might be coming back soon. And we'll actually need those 9 extra hands just to board the stuff onto the ship because you gave them quite a bit to apply.
Platinum can buy a lot of food.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about checking out the library. I guess maybe if I'm desperate enough, I do approach Valena. I'm like, Valena, do you think it's worth it to check out that small library here?
Depends on how much time we actually have.
I mean, this might be a good idea for them to do, just because we're literally not going to stop until we get out to the ocean after we leave here.
All right, I guess it's worth a try.
I'm going to assume that we overheard Azina actually say, we're literally not going to stop anywhere until we get to the ocean after this.
Yeah, we talked about it before we got here, because the rest of the area leading up to the ocean is hostile territory.
Alright.
Most of the towns are in
Shem
Stygia.
is mostly friendly, but Stygia is always right next to you on the other side, and that's always hostile.
And
with few exceptions.
Luxor is probably the most friendly of the towns in Stygia. It's the capital, but it's still not a pleasant place. And fuck the one on the coast. What is it?
Kemi.
Yeah, Kemi. No, you don't want to go to Kemi.
Alright.
I've done research on Kemi. That could be a player kill.
It seems the captain
that could be a
not
total
wish
party
us to
wipe.
stop. Any time after this might be our only chance to do any research on this, whatever this is. So I guess
for quite a while.
Yeah, only time for quite a while before you reach the ocean.
So I
if
guess
you'd like to come with me, I could use your help in trying to find as much as we can about this thing.
It'd be my pleasure. So it wouldn't, with such a place, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring some helpful protection. Here, sweetie, can you come with us?
All right. Big Sumerian barbarian follows along. A lot of these women in this group are fairly tall, but even compared to them, the only other person that matches the Sumerian size is Lona, who's staying on the ship now.
Nope, she's not. She has to go buy bows.
Oh. Well, not quite with this particular group at the moment, at least, then.
Yeah, not with this group.
I'm like, oh, I go to Gareth. Okay, sir, but please try not to break anything.
No promises.
Speaking of Brock Sampson.
So, I guess we depart the ship and head on over to wherever the library is in this
Yeah,
place.
I'd say it takes you like maybe 10-20 minutes and you find the smallish library.
Okay.
Closer towards the center of town, but not completely towards the center of town.
I was gonna say, I don't know if I have like a find place or anything. Do I?
So now then, the both of you get to look up. You get to search either. Let's see here. I want to look at character sheets so I can decide which things you can use to search for this stuff. If you get a chance for it, I would say history could work. Arcana will work. I think that might be about it.
Nothing on
Actually, you know what? I'll even throw in religion.
Okay. Yay!
I guess Valena will try an Arcana check.
Okay.
I'll do a religion check because that's my thing.
Exactly the same roll.
Oh yeah.
All right. The both of you search for roughly about an hour or so. There's not a whole lot here to cover in the particular fields that you're trying to look into. I will say both of you more or less come to the same conclusion in your quick bit of research that there are many different artifacts somewhat similar to this one that you are trying to uncover, and many of them are usually used for different forms of rituals. Depending upon which one you have will widely affect what you're doing. There are ones used for summoning demons. There's ones literally meant to be gateways for gods. There are literally ones meant to just bless the entire city and all of its neighboring lands and give them bountiful wealth for all their known lives, etc. Lots of different variants on it, but nothing you can see right now that guarantees what this one is for, other than you kind of have an ominous feeling when near it.
So I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are we covering all knowledge or just general knowledge?
What do you mean?
Would this count as forbidden knowledge as well?
I don't think the use of these figurines would be considered forbidden knowledge.
Well,
I would say that.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what you mean by forbidden knowledge, unless you're talking. Well, because Arcana period is kind of forbidden knowledge, to be fair, in Conan.
Okay, so I was basically saying.
So like being a very naughty wizard already kind of makes you ooh.
Yeah, because I remember last time I was in the library, and to help us with
you stumbled into a particularly foreboding book, which literally got you some nasty visions because there's some heavy shit in there.
Yeah. Oh, what the hell? You only live once. Is there anything like that in here?
Anything what in here?
Like that in here?
You're looking
Like
for
what?
deeper, darker things?
Or, I don't know, maybe... Can I do an investigation to see if I can match any of the drawings to any kind of symbols or deity or something like that?
Honestly, trying to think here really quick. I need to look at... I keep needing to look at this just so I can kind of get an idea. Literally, I would assume it'd just have to be an investigation check to see if you find anything.
Alright. Nope.
Yeah, that's a hell no. You see some weird rustic old books that might be creepy, but as soon as you open them up, it's like the most bland thing ever. It's just that the cover is really aged, and you just kind of throw it back in.
I go to Valena. Something tells me that if this thing were used for ill gain or for bad purposes, we would not find the knowledge here. These seem to be quite simple books, quite basic, general knowledge, I would say. I have not found anything. Have you?
No, but I feel that the only way we can find out at this point is to try a ritual and find out what it. Oh wait, I don't know what it is. I guess the only option I can think of is. Valena's gonna pull up her amulet out of her chest.
Hmm.
And ask Darketo if she knows anything about this drawing.
I would like to point out that you are not a cleric.
Didn't she give me free favors or something with that when she gave me that necklace or something?
Not really. It just kind of gives you little hints now and again when it's something that definitely pertains to you.
Okay.
And things were really heavy pertaining to you back when you were in Hyboria.
Oh. She puts it back in her chest.
You are not a cleric. You don't have
There-
commune with your god.
I like lower my voice and I'm very conspiratorial with her, and I approach her. I'm like, there is one more option. And I'm like very hesitant to tell her anything more. But what if we had the actual object?
And she goes, go on.
Yes.
I may have this object hidden away in my cabin. And it may be something that these pirates that Captain Azina is hunting, it may be something that they are after. And it may be the reason why my comrades were slaughtered. Does Garroth hear us talking at all?
He's probably just sitting around outside, just kind of going, "Why am I always following them to these weird places?"
And she just, Valena starts getting more and more interested.
I'm not sure it's something we should tell the captain just yet. But I can take you back to the cabin and show it to you. Perhaps you can recognize some detail on it.
It's worth a shot. To be honest, if you have this item, the only way we would know what its purpose is at this point is to perform the ritual itself. But that's at our own risk.
What would Mitra think? I would not be the best of their followers to commit such blasphemy. You, however, perhaps your god would be more forgiving.
Well, I have done a lot of weird things before, so this wouldn't be a first with her.
I've seen you raise skeletons.
Well, I worship Darketo. She's very forgiving of that for general purposes. Well, not general purposes, specific purposes, but...
I see. Perhaps it is best to examine the thing a little more closely, and with a more nuanced eye. I say we should return back to the cabin and see what we can find out.
Alright, and
The cabin, find out what you can find while the GM continues to eat his new pork rinds.
I'm wondering what the heck that crunch was.
Someone else started munching on something, and I'm like, I must follow.
Oh, I've been
Like,
eating peanut butter M&Ms.
I feel like Matt's just at the other end, the GM's just going to eat pork rinds. Oh, Valena's about to do something crazy. This calls for another pork rind.
Oh, what are they going to get themselves into now? Let's eat the pork rinds. And I would eat popcorn, but pork rinds are available right now.
Maybe even without Azina realizing it. We'll
And then the rift opens above the ship. They all teleport in and they all die. Game over.
That useless piece of paper did nothing! No, that paper, it does nothing!
Little do we know that this whole summoning ritual is actually the original summoning of the Kandarian demon from Evil Dead.
Oh god.
Anyways,
If you hear someone talking about somebody being down the roads, then yeah, it's time to turn it off.
A squid starts attacking the ship. Azina's like, "What did you do, Ray?"
it just popped in there. It just popped in there. I tried to think of the most harmless thing. Look, what did you do, Ray? It's the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Anyways, yeah. All right. Let's.
Do we see anything or meet anyone strange on the way back to the ship or anything like that?
Honestly, I'm going to throw this out there. No, you're not being particularly followed on this. You look like weird out-of-towners, and most of the people here aren't going to bother you as long as you're not bothering them.
I'm super suspicious of everyone, so I'm just like looking around, passive, trying not to.
So you're definitely doing that. You get a few weird side glances from people, but none of the looks of them are familiar faces at all, and you've never seen them on repeat. So it's just like, okay, the locals just think you're a little bit weird.
Okay.
Which,
Well,
hanging
yeah,
around
so
with a
it-
barbarian and a gal in a black cloak with white hair already makes you a person with weird company to begin with.
Yeah.
Because there's only
Elena-
one race of people with white hair in this world, unless you're really old.
But they've been disbanded.
There's still a race of people that have it, though.
No, fair enough.
Yeah, the witches might be disbanded, but
Hyperboreans are forever.
That news may have not gotten this far south.
That's
yet.
also true, too, that the news of them officially being dissolved might not have reached all the way down.
it'd be funny to just be walking through the town with Stallone and be like, "Behold, the Slayer of the White Witch." Everybody's
No.
like, "What?"
No, you just picture. I'm just picturing The Godfather Part 2, where they go, "Oh, a white witch! Here's an offering." Grazie.
It's a witch, may we burn her?
What are you burn witches with? More witches!
She turned me into a newt.
A newt?
I'll go
That-
better.
And the campaign is officially dissolved into Monty Python.
No,
Anyways.
I'm just getting the almost the Oz thing with what you said earlier. Behold, the Slayer of the White Witch of the North. Oh, great Slayer! Will you now help us with the Black Witch of the South?
Run away! Run away!
Oh, great Slayer, will you not single-handedly defeat all of Stygia? No, I can't do that.
You just
First is
kindly
watching
and
us.
gently walk up to him and go, no. And then walk away.
So we get back to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
No problems.
Nothing particular that you've noticed.
Okay. So when we get to the ship, we sneak in. Go into the cabin nonchalantly. You know what? I'll have Gareth watch the door on the other side.
I am the
Okay.
door watcher. I am watching the doors. I am sitting here watching the door until the next door watcher comes.
I am sitting here watching the shiny.
Oh yeah, just wanted to give a shout out to Wolfenforest. Hi, Wolfenforest, who was also watching the stream.
Oh, hello. I haven't checked the chat in a while. Hi.
Yeah.
We
So
might be summoning a demon. We don't know.
I don't know.
It
It's good
depends
fun
upon what
when
you
everyone
do.
has a good time.
Well, if you do, it's a good thing we got that piece of paper.
Yeah. That's why I was making a joke earlier, going, "The piece of paper, it does nothing."
The paper. And thank you for the 100 biddies.
That paper doesn't protect you if you summon the demon yourself.
So anyway,
I
I almost got broken by the DM.
You're welcome. I turned into uncle.
Who
I
wants
am
a
an
piece of
uncle, so I have every right to. Anyway,
Uncle too.
so
Anyway.
you're in the room. You got the artifact.
All right,
So,
I carefully bring out the artifact from underneath my bed bunk thing and unwrap it and reveal it to Valena carefully. Just kind of holding it out to her to see if she sees anything, and then I hand it over to you.
Valena gently studies it, looks for any familiar writing, any familiar symbols, or anything that she would recognize.
Actually, first questions first from the GM. How close are you getting to this thing?
I think she's bringing it up to her face to get a real good look at it. Why?
Are you touching it?
Yes.
She's holding it.
Oh shit! It's a face hugger in disguise.
Garrett goes,
Conan versus Alien, coming soon to an RPG near you.
I can just picture Garoff going, I always knew something was going to happen to that crazy witch.
Let me see here. Oh, did I just get paid for a sound effect? Yes. Hello,
Yes.
Aaron.
Fart.
She has used the fart sound, thank you. Give me... Oh boy. Give me a wisdom check, Valena.
Oh, wisdom check or wisdom
geez.
save?
Well, actually, wisdom save. Okay. So here's what basically happens. You're starting to get closer and closer to this thing. The imagery strikes you somehow vaguely familiar, but you can't still place it. And as you're trying to look it over, at one point you do grab a hold of it and kind of turn it over to look at it. But then as you're grabbing a hold of it, you suddenly have the desire to close your eyes. As the darkness sinks in for just a moment. I see you. As multiple eyes open up, and you immediately open your eyes and drop the damn thing. It's like, what the fuck?
What did you see?
I haven't had this kind of a trip since I read that book.
Trip, where did you go? You were right here the whole time.
I'll tell you about it later, but I'm pretty sure this is a forbidden artifact.
Oh, no. I take like the cloth and I wrap it up carefully. And kind of take one last glance at whatever the head would be or whatever the front-facing portion of it would be, and then like finally wrap it up and tuck it underneath my bed again.
Nothing of the artifact seems to have changed, and even dropping it seems to have not done anything to hurt it. It seems to be of a fairly solid piece of stone. Black stone, I might add.
Okay.
So, yes, I'm afraid it may be forbidden because only forbidden knowledge causes that kind of effect. It's like when I warned you, when you look at forbidden knowledge, something else may look back. And I've only had that experience twice before in the same day in the same book.
This is not good.
Yes.
If I tell the captain about this, she may throw me off the ship.
Oh no, Alzina's a very nice person. She wouldn't throw you off the ship, though. She would.
I'm not sure.
There is another possibility. I'm pretty sure with this forbidden knowledge is what they were seeking. Because I think that's a safe bet. Which means we can use it bait to lure them to us if we choose to. But is it worth it holding something so dangerous?
I reach under the bed and I take out the figure again. It's still wrapped in cloth, and I kind of hold it to my chest, and I'm like, perhaps we must tell the captain about this.
I believe it'd be wise.
I
Though
can't bring this thing-
but I'll probably be more yelled at than you, so you'll be fine. But I'm used to this at this point.
I can't bring this thing back to the monastery. I don't know what my people were thinking. I had thought that perhaps they had just stumbled upon it by accident, but now I'm not quite sure.
You just hear from the other side of the door. By the way, here we go again. Muffled.
So I think we should go up to Captain Azina and call for like maybe a private meeting or something if possible.
Might not want to talk about that in front of the whole crew.
Yeah.
We have a demon statue, everybody! Everyone, be the abandoned ship.
Hey, Geralt, you hold this.
Like, I think if you were gonna do something like that, maybe all of the party members, but not like the other crew members.
That's what I'm saying. Like a private meeting, like between me, Valena, and you.
Yeah. Before we get to Azina, Blaine's gonna put a hand on your shoulder and say, "You should not feel any ill will to this. Forbidden objects are crafty things, and it's no fault of yours that this fell into your hands. Do not blame yourself for this, or that you are going to bring this to the monastery. But you are doing right telling the captain."
Indeed. Such ill tidings. First our people are slaughtered, and now this cursed thing. Come, let us talk to Captain Azina in private about this. You, me, and her.
All right.
I don't think we should let the crew know.
Geralt, watch the door of the captain's quarters while we talk to him.
Literally walks across the hall and just continues his mantra again. I am the watcher of doors. I sit here and watch the doors until the next door watcher comes.
Then Azina goes, "Why is Geralt watching my door?"
I don't know anymore. What was that, Randy?
I think Randy just went mute because he...
Oh,
no, my headset was up, yeah. No, I could just see Geralt doing that. I am the watcher of doors. Ooh, birdie.
Except that he's indoors, so the fact that there'd be a bird would be like...
No, it's a freaking bird that got inside.
Get out of here, bird!
But my cabin's like the only one that's not below deck.
Yeah.
I stuffed the figure up my sleeve. So that people can't see it easily anyway.
Stuff the figure up my cricket strip sleeve. Okay.
Chinese hidden magic.
The Chinese hidden magic of... was it Hammer Space? Hammer Space.
Hammer Space, Katana Space, something like that. Pending. The original was Katana Space because it came with Highlander.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because they just kept drawing those swords out of nowhere. Give me the prize. Where did that come from?
Anyways, we get to the cabin and we see Captain Azina. What is Captain Azina doing in her cabin at this point?
What was the last thing I was doing? It's been a while since I've been...
You brought the new crewmates.
Yeah,
and honestly, Salona after a while is probably trying to get them to start practicing archery.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I would have gone to a...
Well, actually, you might have actually taken some of them with her to go get some bows, yeah.
Yeah, and I would have gone to a bar afterwards, but we'll take care of that in a couple minutes, because...
Yeah. So anyhow, they come to tell what's going on.
We need to see you in private.
Okay, well, close the door then.
I sit all by my lonesome again by the door, because I am the door watcher. Geralt just sits there. And then looks up for a moment. Birds again!
I don't know if we
By
are...
Crom the birds, they're invading the ship.
Sorry, I'll let Valena speak.
Captain, I discovered our latest crew member, and you have something in common. You both had encounters with the same pirates, but I believe we may have countered that this person may have countered an item that they may be seeking.
I pulled the artifact out of my sleeve. And begin unwrapping it and show it to the captain.
Oh no.
So I have an idea.
Here, hold this.
Can I cast Identify on it?
Oh, that's a thought.
Oh, dang, I should have been able to do that too. God damn it. Identify object. Oh,
You
no,
actually had-
I have locate object. Oh, wait, no, I do have Identify. Never mind. I'm dumb.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll actually work because it might not work for like a complicated artifact. It might only work on like lesser magical items, but
I will say that's definitely an interesting thought I hadn't thought about, and I'll let you try to cast it.
do I have to make like a save to try and get it to do something specific, or?
Trying to think. If you touch a creature rather than casting you, they are currently affected. Yes, your spell, if it is a magic item, some confused object, you learn the properties. What requires attuned to use, how many charges it has.
Oh, they've started. M80's going off next door.
You learn whether any spells are affecting an item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you will learn which spell created.
It's too bad. It'd be after visiting hours in the hospital, hon, because you can't hear crap here.
I was gonna say, like, when my floor is vibrating from them, you know that they're kind of
it's happening, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say there's not particularly anything on Identify that would that you can roll for to reveal more or less. I think that's basically up to the GM to decide. So what I'm gonna say is you're casting this, right?
Yeah.
You cast it, and you do. You get the feeling like some of the information is not forthcoming. But what you do learn from this thing is that it is definitely used in ritual. It is definitely a part of a bigger set of artifacts that are supposed to be used for this ritual, so there's more of them out there. And whatever it's tied to seems to have a lot of dark energy around it. Like, some really negative stuff. But at the same time, if pirates are after this, it's very obvious that they're looking for this and others like it too. Jeez. Obviously, after this and other items like it to do something of ill intent.
I'm assuming, did Valena explain to me what happened when she touched it?
No, she has not. She's not even fully explained it to anyone yet so far,
Yeah.
other than she had a vision.
Well, Captain, I should bring up, not since I looked up forbidden knowledge in the library have I encountered such a presence in this that seems to be able to watch his turn, which means we're doing, if not greater, the same level as the White Witch.
What do you... Be more... What happened?
I touched it. It's like it was able to see me as I saw it.
Okay, I go to the door and I knock to get Garroth's attention.
Immediately stands up.
Go get me Theobald and Tarthun, please.
Right. Goes off. A couple minutes later, you hear him coming back with additional feet, so Tarthun and Theobald will eventually come in.
Okay, so I try to explain to them what it is and that some entity might be able to see us through it.
Does that? Did you have anything else you wanted to add there, or?
I'm kind of want to see what their reaction is to this, because I know that they're the most magical guys on the ship aside from the three of us that are already here.
Tarthoon's looks a bit puzzled at it, but he definitely can tell that it's some sort of ritual as well, almost immediately. Theobald kind of looks over it a bit and even does some kind of close touching, and then he actually does remove a glove and puts his hand on it. And I'm going to see how well he handles this.
He should do a better wisdom saving throw than Elena did, but he might roll a 1.
No, I got a +5 on wisdom save. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He touches it, and he almost has a vision, but he as soon as the vision starts to come in, he kind of hears a mild, distant shriek and kind of blinks and lets it go. Very interesting. I don't know that it can so much as see us through the object as much as see us when we are in contact with the object. It's almost like scrying, only it can only work when you're touching it.
Oh,
in that case, keeping this thing wrapped up is a good idea. Good on you.
Yeah. I say so. We don't need to try and cast any sort of protection spell to keep them from spying on us.
That being said, you could always try to actually scan the object if you know what you're looking for, but it is very unlikely that they'll get much information from that, other than the fact that it's in a dark place if you keep it stored in a dark place.
So did Azina give the information about being part of other artifacts or something?
I more or less relayed the information you told me.
Yeah, so...
And if it's part of bigger ritual, then that would explain why the pirates are after, but it'll explain the pirates are obviously after these things, but it doesn't explain why they are after these things. But then again, points at Alzina, that explains why very later, when he killed your people, summoned a fucking demon.
This is true.
Obviously, they're somehow connected.
Is there any way to identify the other artifacts? Maybe if we can find them, we can find more clues.
Sure, we could identify the other artifacts. Put them right here in my hands.
Well, no, we'll have to dispose of them.
You can just identify the other ones. You have to actually frickin' find them.
Well, I know, but she's basically saying.
Oh God! Emeralds.
You have summoned me, Kret. Now make your wish so I may go.
Make Giselle's boobs bigger.
Oh my God!
if there ever was a time that she'd give you a smack across the back of the head. God damn it, Aaron! I know it's you that donated for that. Yes, it is.
Do you realize how many bits I have, Matt?
No, I don't. But you've been using quite a bit of them.
I know it's a lot. Yes.
Aaron has made fart sounds, nanny sounds, and now she just did the sexy saxophone sound.
Well, it was appropriate for what was happening.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways,
never gonna dance again.
Valena's point is there any way to find out, to get information on what these other artifacts could be and where to find them, so we can have a better chance of finding these pirates?
No, not unless you had an exact idea what these things looked like, which you currently do not.
Okay. So there's no chance of going to a library and finding this information out.
Your library that you've already checked had 0 for you on this topic.
Not this library, but the next big library.
Not a guarantee. You might find something, you might not. The GM cannot tell you this right now.
Okay.
You're juggling the 8-ball, and the 8-ball's telling you try again later.
Okay.
Do we have anything that would resemble like a treasure room on the ship? I haven't really thought about that.
I thought it was somewhere in your quarters.
Yeah, basically you have like a small stash somewhere in your quarters, essentially. That's probably where you keep most of the ship's money. And only like 2 other people know where it is.
Do I still have the other effigy thing?
Oh, well, the effigy small stone artifacts that you bought, yeah.
Well, there's
you haven't really done anything with them. You kind of just put them on like a shelf or something, just left them there basically.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab the first one I found, and compare it to the statue and see if there's a resemblance between the two of them.
We should touch effigies.
Oh, why not? You only live once.
You touch the stones together, they do nothing. But actually, looking between the 2 of them, you realize one of the major differences is that while you're getting a definite creepy aura off of both of them, the effigy that you have that's not an actual artifact is more of a how to put it. It's more of this really rough black, maybe slightly purplish hued stone, whereas this artifact is just like pure obsidian black, almost shiny at points, but it's still a matte black, and it is well made and very, very old, whereas some of your effigies are mostly just recently made out of a particular material.
But that does give us a clue. Valena says, I'm pretty sure whatever this artifact that we came by it's ancient.
Yeah, you can already tell that it's definitely of an older make, but as to why and who, you also still don't know.
Right. There may be a way to find out, and it comes at a great risk. One of us can ask the entity at the other side who it is and what does it want, or where the information on who it is, if anyone was willing. That being said, I volunteer myself to be the sacrifice captain.
I whack her over the head. Then I look at Tarthud and Theobald and go, does her idea actually make any sense, or is that just Valena being Valena?
She could try to make contact with the other side, but it's also very likely whatever it is could probably possess her and do other nasty, horrific things and light the entire ship on fire. Darthun just kind of looks at him, looks back to you, and just goes, I must agree with that option. It does seem that it is not the wisest idea.
I go, okay, I look at Valena, I go, I have a better idea. We're not going to do that. But I want you to keep this in your quarters and have the water elemental guard it.
As you command, Captain. And she wraps it up, gets her water elemental, orders it to guard it in a special place hidden in the cabin. And if anything would come out with it, beat the crap out of it that isn't the captain or I or
Garoff.
Well, or Garoff. Not even Garoff. I don't trust him with this. A big strong barbarian possessed? Are you kidding me?
You don't want Thelona anywhere near it then either.
Yeah. I was gonna say Valerius, yeah. So
that way, and on the off chance that somebody sneaks onto the ship to try and steal it, there will be a water elemental guarding it.
Fair enough.
Actually, Captain, if you're willing, can I just at least ask you just one question? Just one question.
What?
Who is it? Because if we know who it is, we may get better idea on information in the future what we're dealing with.
We don't know who it is, but I still believe it's too dangerous to try and talk to some.
Ask it. So I was basically trying to ask if we should ask who it is, or maybe it would give us an answer.
No, because you could get possessed while trying to do that.
Not only that, there are some creatures whose names will actually drive humans insane.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
You gotta remember, there's a lot of shit out there that's just waiting in the shadows. There's legitimately Lovecraftian shit in Conan.
Oh yeah.
It's probably better not to try and talk to an eldritch abomination.
Yeah, I can just picture Elena going, "Who are you?"
In fact, to be honest, you just saw multiple eyes open up in a dark place and stare at you while saying it can see you.
Yeah,
we shouldn't talk to eldritch abominations? You mean Jeff? Jeff's cool. He's always around on Taco Tuesday.
We shouldn't try to question Sauron.
I can just picture Elena questioning it, and it just goes, "What's your name?" It's late night with Jimmy Fallon. She goes insane.
Late night with Jimmy Fallon.
What is your name? Some would call me Tim.
I need ice cream. I need the Tonight Dough.
I am he who walks in the shadows. I am the maw of 1,000 maws. I see the darkness, and I am one with it. But my best friends call me Teddy.
Who are you? I'm Mark Calloway.
Oh fuck, we're all dead.
He's gonna tombstone pile drive us.
Who are you? My name's Wilford Brimley.
Liberty Medical.
Check your blood sugar. Check it often.
I'm Bob. This is Tim, and that's Larry.
I'm Larry. This is my brother Daryl. This is my other brother Daryl.
But anyhow, in all seriousness, I'd say we should actually probably get the ship moving as soon as everyone's back on board, because two of us have touched this thing, and they probably know at least where we're currently at.
Maybe.
Yo, they're right there, though. Yeah, there's a second one right there.
Yep, we got a second ping. That's definitely there.
So, meanwhile...
at archery practice.
Well, no, I think I had no problems finding the bows.
Oh, yeah, bows is no issue.
So, on the way back, I stop into a bar. Not a dive, a decent bar.
All right.
I come up, just put the bows down, which are probably in, some kind of bag or box or something.
Yeah, you probably got a decent-sized holding bag for the multiple bows you have. And also probably the equivalent of some arrows there, too.
Yep. And then she just sits at the bar. How's the local ale?
Who asking?
Someone who wants a drink.
The guy prepares a drink. Probably one of the better locals for ale. Not a very common thing here in Shim. More northern stuff.
I'm not looking for mead.
But still more frequent in Aqualonia and Argos. And still, he pours you out a drink, and after a few moments, you get a decent frothy mug set in front of you.
I'll give it a try. How much?
I'm trying to think. It'd probably just be like 5 or 10 copper.
I'm gonna put a gold down.
The bartender's jaw almost unhinges for a second, and he nods and quickly removes it and lets you
I
have
am
your
looking
drink.
for some information.
Oh, and what might you be looking for?
More common information, so I thought this might ease the way. My captain, I am sailing on a ship, heading westward. My captain is looking to purchase a new ship. Probably have one custom made. So I am wondering, which town on the coast to the west has the best shipyards?
The first one that you'll come to will be as Golan, and that will probably be the biggest port you'll see until you hit places like Argos and Zingara. And those would probably be bigger ports.
But do you know which has the reputation for the best shipyards?
He kind of ponders for a moment. Zingara is well known for good trade, but Argos are well known for good fight.
And I take it, where would I want to go and on the shores of Argos then to have a ship made?
Actually, I do have a map. I should have had a map. I believe I prepared this, actually.
I believe it's actually in the channel. It's just from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I might have shared it in the channel. I'm just trying to pull it up for myself. And actually, I'm wondering if I don't have it here. No, I actually don't. Actually, let me see if I can upload it really quick. Upload an image I can throw on here really quick. Not that one, this one. Okay, looks like it went through. So if I drag and drop. Man, that looks tiny. Okay, I stretched it and it's looking better. So.
Yeah, I'm just now looking at the. Yeah, a mug of ale would be 4 copper, so that would be really overpaid for the ale. But obviously, you're trying to get it.
Yeah, I'm trying to get information, and that's my first of a few questions. So.
All right, so zooming into here. Oh God, did they not? They actually have a big city right there in Argos, and they didn't even name it.
Yeah, I know. It annoys me.
But actually, I think the one named there, Masantia, that would be the one that you would probably want to go to. It's very close to the border with Singar, but it's also the capital.
Very good. Okay. My next question. Is there a map maker in town?
He kind of ponders for a moment.
I am looking for someone that has a more detailed map of the mouth of the river Styx. One that might show the better sailing routes.
He thinks for a moment and he does reply with, I do believe there is a map maker that should be in the market. They should be open till a decent hour.
Very well. My final question. I know south of the mouth is the Isle Sipta. How dangerous is that to travelers coming out of the mouth? Does its reputation go that far north, or is the mouth relatively safe?
The mouth is relatively safe from Sipta. The problem you want to stay away from is Kemel. Kemel is a very dangerous, dark place, full of black magic and spiraling black towers. I wouldn't go near it for my life.
I try to stay away from Stygia in general.
He very knowingly nods.
I have crossed its desert once, I care not to again.
He kind of blinks and looks at you for a moment, then afterwards, brave soul, and starts washing out a mug.
A soul without a choice. Thank you, you have answered my questions. And with that, she just belts back the ale.
Decent ale.
Very good. You wouldn't happen to have a barrel of this, would you?
As you ask for a barrel, he just kind of slowly smells. My lady, we have a couple. Do you want one?
Oh, indeed, I do. How
Very
much?
well. He actually kind of looks back to the kitchen. And after a couple of minutes, a couple of bar hands from behind in the kitchen come out with a big barrel. This one is worth 4 silver. The previous offer for just a mug was 5 copper, so it's obviously an easy upgrade.
I will put down another gold, because I'm in a good mood now.
Very kind of you, madam. Enjoy your drink and enjoy your travels.
And she hefts the bag in one hand and the barrel in the other.
As she does. I'm not even going to question. It's a barbarian. I'm not going to even question.
And I will head out to the marketplace and see if I can find that map maker.
I'm going to say it takes you maybe a couple minutes going through the market and maybe asking 1 or 2 people, and you find someone who can direct you.
Mind you, they're also probably looking up at the 6.5 foot tall woman hoisting a barrel over one arm. Okay, so eventually I get directions.
Yep.
Okay.
Takes you a few minutes in the market, but you're eventually directed to where you need to go to find them.
I will put the barrel down, put the bows down on top of it. I take it you are the map maker.
Ah, yes, I am. So you come for maps? What region can I interest you in?
I am looking for more detailed maps of the coast, along the rest of the riverway, along Argos and Zingara.
Interesting choice. Let me see here, and he pages for a few moments, but eventually basically gives you the map you see here.
Okay. Are there any lines on there denoting shipping lines?
I will say that even though they're not on there, there's probably a couple of shipping lines. Mostly they follow the coast at varying degrees. None of them, if they head south, stay anywhere near Sipta. They try to hug as close to the coast as possible and try to stay away from it.
Yeah, well, we're not going down there.
That
either.
or they try to coast a long berth around the island. Either way.
Yeah. I figured that, but I wanted to see if there were any shortcuts in the water, that kind of thing. Stuff that can, speed up your sailing time by a day or two.
I will say that there is one line that does seem to hint that if you go straight westward enough from the coast and try to skip between the Long Island and the smaller islands near the coast up in that northern section there, that you can usually find a streamline that'll help heading westward. And the same could be said of being below the Long Island going eastward.
Which Long Island?
That one. Basically, being north of it helps you go west, and being south of it helps you go east. So even if you have a rough time getting wind, you can still keep moving.
Oh, okay. I see it now.
Yeah.
All right.
By the way, sorry about the fireworks. I'm like 5 blocks away from it, 4 blocks away from it.
I guess I'm hearing it. I just thought it was like something tapping at the table. They haven't shot anything off lately over by me, so.
Well, yeah, like I said, technically I'm like 3 blocks away from the river, which then at the park on the other side of the river is where they're having the fireworks.
See, I'm having trouble figuring out whether I'm hearing your fireworks or my fireworks.
I'm definitely sure I'm hearing mostly mine.
Bloody American holiday.
Yeah.
I wish they would have kept it to tomorrow, but anyways.
How much for the map?
Obviously, it has to be a decent amount because you have to be a very educated person to be making these things.
Oh wait, those are fireworks? I thought that was tapping on the table.
Yeah.
We just said this, yes.
No, Matt's actually streaming to us from the middle of the combat zone. There's heavy weapons fire going on. The insurgents are currently attacking.
He's the reporter saying, everything is fine, nothing's wrong.
No, he's like the dog. This is fine.
Everything is fine here. This is perfectly fine.
He's currently in the green zone in Iraq.
I'm gonna say probably roughly 50 silver.
Okay.
It obviously pays a bit for his time and research and mapping courses on it.
I'll pay for that direct.
All right.
Get rid of some of that excessive silver.
Chink. Thank you very much. And takes it and lets you more unabashedly lets you pushes the map forward towards you to let you have it.
Mm-hmm. I will roll that up. Just kind of put that in my vest. Pick up the bag. Pick up the barrel, and then lurch my way back towards the ship.
Northerners are getting weirder by the day. After she's long away. Remind me never to pick out the fight with the blonde ones.
So, that would take us back to the ship, which...
Yeah, by the time you get back, you're just witnessing the end of a semi-pandemonium about something going on, but the majority of the crew are at least currently unaware, just the main crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna when Thelona gets back, I'm gonna approach her.
Yeah, that's the big the not too unusual sign of Thelona lurking with a big barrel over her shoulder.
So I go up to Thelona. I go, well, I got something to tell you about that you're not gonna like, but you should at least be aware of it.
Why can't I leave the ship for 2 hours without something I'm not going to like happening?
Technically, it's not something that just happened. The new priest, Belarius, had an artifact that not only is the Raiders of the Eclipse after, but Theobald and Tarthun have theorized that anyone who touches it with their bare hand could potentially be possessed. So obviously you don't want to do that.
That's just great.
And I basically told Belena to have her water elemental guard it so that nobody can sneak on the ship and try to get it.
Of course, that doesn't stop her from getting it, or...
Well, I figured if anyone's going to be possessed, then we have to put them down.
I would be the one to put them down.
Is that? I'm there, right? So I'm hearing all of this.
No. I had kind of walked away from everybody else to explain to Thelona what was going on, and I was obviously joking about that anyhow. But like, Thelona's not the person I would want to get possessed. Out of everybody in the crew, that'd be the worst person to get possessed, probably.
Well,
that's the moment that Thelona turns into a whirling dervish and everyone dies.
I mean, the good thing is if Thelona gets possessed, she doesn't know Fireball.
Doesn't stop her from taking only half damage.
You just gotta rub it in every game, don't you?
You know, you're a wizard. We have a wizard with Fireball. If we had the materials for him to make a scroll, you could inscribe the spell into your spell book.
That's a very good point.
Actually, yeah, now that you mention it.
I actually thought of that at the end of last session. Thelona can't mention it in character because she knows dick about spells, except they're evil.
Evil dark magic's get it out of my face.
Yeah.
That is true. Technically.
But it is something that you would know as a wizard.
The two of them combined could probably almost double their spell count by just giving each other spells.
Yeah, but you need the materials to write the scrolls.
And you need the coin.
You have the coin. You have
the coin. Resources, though.
Yeah, the
It
only
might be better to wait to a different town, but
yeah, because the only place that would possibly have it around here is Luxor.
Good luck.
Well, instead of buying, why don't we just raid the town?
You know, if you have enough bodies.
That's fine. Give me a few hundred more people and about 6 longboats.
That's a statue talking, Captain. Oh, wait, I'm not there.
Yeah, the important thing is we have a dangerous artifact on board now. May potentially use it to try to bait the enemy into a trap at some point.
Well, at least I can bring the slight bitter of better news. And I reach into my vest and I pull out the map.
It is better news.
As you can see here, it shows the shipping lines and the wind direction lines. So it looks like from here we should head for that large island and just cut over to the north of it. I also asked around, and the best place that makes ships would be Mestantia. So if we are going to find a good ship, that would be what I would suggest.
All right. So, I'd say we stocked up on a lot of food, got 9 new crew members, and got a decent map. I think that almost makes up for the cursed object on the ship.
No, it doesn't.
I said almost.
Now, if you excuse me, I have some good ale. I'm going to try to forget about the whole object thing for now.
Okay.
You hear somewhere off in the distance on the ship. I'd be for that too. Obviously, Theobald.
And we don't need to role play it, but obviously at some point I would end up telling Giselle about the statue, just so she doesn't accidentally stumble upon it.
She basically crosses her arms, gives you a look, and just kind of like, I knew she was hiding something.
Hey, Veneer!
Oh,
Named Keenan?
Yeah, Keenan.
She's still gonna call him Veneer.
I know.
Keenan kind of looks up, a little bit puzzled at first. Oh, me? Yeah? Hello?
When was the last time you had a good drink?
Weeks, possibly months.
Well, come on. I have a barrel and I'm not disinclined to share.
Sounds good enough to me. And starts falling as well.
If you can stand 2 as guardians, you can get a good drink.
Also, you're gonna invite Theobald as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he already invited himself.
Basically invited himself, yeah. They're a couple, he's invited to drink.
Valina, is there any parchment on the ship? Parchment and quill?
Not unless you bought any.
Alright.
I think you might have at some point, so you might want to look at your character sheet.
Yeah, it should be character sheet.
Did you buy your own resources?
Yeah, I'm a bard. I don't need that stuff.
Clothing.
There seems to be a pattern here.
4 birds, creepy.
I think it hasn't done it for a while, so to take her mind off of everything, she's going to play on her flute.
Oh gosh, the corset.
A decent tune, and actually, as the big shipment of food arrives, you kind of gives the boys an extra bit of get up and go to have a tune to work to.
Is the ship just trailing off right now, or
No,
it's boarding. The food for possibly
Valina.
weeks is being boarded.
Valina's gonna go out and buy some parchment and pen and quill real quick.
Just some basic
That's fine.
stuff.
Basic stuff, yeah.
The Norsemen have taken over the dining area.
The cook doesn't mind as long as they're not in the way of getting dinner already.
They're not in the kitchen. They're
They're
just taking over a corner.
just in the dining area, but it's basically right next to the kitchen. So.
Yeah, I know. They're just taking over a little corner there with the barrel. Just freaking dip your mug in, get a drink, and probably swapping stories. So, Vanir, tell us about your life before you fell down to this state. And we'll tell you about the time we took down the White Witch of Hyperborea.
Oh, a White Witch. Oh, interesting. Well, how did I got down here? And he kind of goes into detail how he started originally adventuring with family, but then started making friends with some local folks as he continued to travel southward until he got caught out at the sea and then got shipped upriver.
And we'll in turn tell the story of how we were to help Velena's family in the north and how that brought us up against the White Witch and the big battle. And
I think as a newbie I'm going to sneak in there too, just like maybe have some ale to kind of calm my nerves.
Stranger!
Just kind of quietly listen to like the stories that you guys are telling so I can kind of familiarize yourself with some of the adventures you've had.
Okay. Ink is 10 gold for an ounce. Ink pen is 10 copper. So 10 gold, 2 copper. And where was it now? There's paper or parchment. Which do you prefer? Man, it's getting out of there.
Paper.
Alright, regular paper, clean stuff would be 2 silver.
Alright.
A sheet.
How much is parchment?
Parchment is 1 silver a sheet.
She's just gonna sling down 2 platinum and pay for everything.
Do they have how much papyrus is?
I assume papyri would be the parchment.
I wouldn't think so. Parchment's usually made from animal skin.
Perfume pick. No, there's no papyrus, so I assume that must be just what they're using for paper.
Random question. So are they telling stories before or after the food's been loaded onto the boat, or during?
While the food is being loaded, but we've taken a corner away from the doorway to the kitchen.
Yeah, so everything can just get in fine. It's just that they're kind of sitting up by themselves for a while.
I'm gonna just assume that Azina's probably wandered in while playing her flute, kind of wondering where everyone went.
Jeez, there it goes. You said you put down 1 platinum piece, or was that more than 1 platinum piece for getting all the ink and stuff? Zerft.
No, for the the ink was 1 platinum. I think
the ink is 1 platinum, essentially. Yeah, ink pen is 2 copper, and then a single sheet of paper is, I believe, yes, 2 silver.
2 silver. Yeah, I was gonna pay for the rest for extras, paper and stuff. And 1 pin, for the pin, the 1 pin, and now shed paper I can get from 1 rest of 1 platinum. So that's.
So you're essentially just slapping down 2 platinum, telling them just to fill in all the paper.
Yeah.
Okay, it's 10 silver for gold and 10 gold for a platinum.
Yes.
So
it's two silver for.
So it's 2 silver for 1 sheet of paper.
So that'd be 50 sheets of paper.
So yeah. So then you end up with about roughly 50 sheets of paper and enough, presumably enough ink and a pen to write on.
right. So, okay, yeah.
Kind of funny that you realize that single thing of ink in old times like this is worth more than like a week's worth of food.
Yeah, well, it's a specialized thing, and not everyone knew what to actually do with it that's useful, so there you go.
Yeah.
And you already had to be a big brain to even be making this stuff, much less using it properly to make stuff with it. But anyways,
so I'm gonna say so I'm gonna have Ozina kind of walk up to their conversation.
okay. So there,
so
yeah, you find them in
Ness.
the midst of drinking and storytelling.
And when they stop, whenever they finally stop talking for a minute, I go, so now we've got 2 Asgardians, a Sumerian, and a Veneerman.
And your point is?
It just kind of completes the... I don't know where I was going with this. I was gonna legit said that out loud.
I don't know. It's the beginning of a joke. I can tell you that.
We all walk into a bar.
Is Geralt actually here? Did
He was probably helping push the food in. He's strong enough. We all walk into a bar. Ow, that hurt.
2 is here, a Veneer, and a Sumerian walk into a bar. The bar
loses. The bar loses. I decided, since they're all trading stories about stuff, I kind of I decided to, what's Kenan his name? I explain what originally happened to me about, you know, the demon shit, and kind of gauge his reaction.
You mentioned all this extra demons. He gets the general gist of your ship travels and so forth, but when you start getting to the fact that your crew were basically murdered by an a-hole who could bring up demons, he kind of gets a little wide-eyed for a moment, and then kind of looks to the others and looks back to you. You people are doing some serious nasty shit.
Yeah. But my crew that got killed was nowhere near as good as this one.
At least you're a little more prepared, yes.
Yes.
He raises the mug quickly and takes another drink.
I kind of look at Stallone and go, and the funny thing is, some of the craziest shit that happened to me and a couple other people happened before I even met this one. I look at Theobald and go, remember the rocks falling from the sky?
That was some strange stuff. Had lots of good jerky in them for whatever reason.
Yeah, that was weird. Sky jerky.
Sky jerky.
Aaron just
What was it? We had,
Yeah.
yeah. What was it like? We smashed open a rock that came out of the sky and had like a week's worth of jerky in it.
Yeah, basically they had a random event happen where a bunch of meteors fell from the sky and they cracked open the meteors, just got random loot out of them.
Oh wow.
That was just one of the only actual players were me and Zereft. Everyone else was an NPC. I don't know where the Night Gaunt's in that one ruin. I'm just gonna test how much this guy's gonna be like, what the fuck?
He kind of furrows his brow. He gets the general gist of what Night Gaunt says. He might as well just been saying a lesser demon. He's just like, hey. So, what haven't you murdered that would kill a lesser man?
Oh, we haven't fought a dragon.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
shy of being murdered.
There was that Hydra that was asleep when we found it.
Okay. And just quickly shoots, just literally tips the mug completely back as he just finishes his drink. That's about everything I need to hear. Holy shite.
Luckily for you, out on the sea, we've mostly just been attacked by pirates.
Those are fun.
Those are fun.
Well, I hope it remains fun, otherwise it's gonna be a hell of a ride.
Most of the crewmates I don't intend on taking into the more dangerous adventures we have.
Well,
That's why
thank you
I'm
for
here.
that.
Mostly you're here to help protect the boat. How good are you with the bow?
I don't know, I could give it a try. It's been a little while.
We'll try once we get to the sea.
Nods.
At least once we leave the dock.
No, it's kind of hard to find range right now. I don't know I know the Styx is a bigger river, but I really don't want somebody to take a misfire and piss off the Stygians.
I mean, you don't want to shoot an arrow at a Stygian and then moon him.
Yeah, except I really do not want to spend our time in the Western Sea with a Stygian armada behind us.
Because I guarantee you, half of that ship's gonna be all wizards.
Well,
that's gonna be some fucked up shit.
What we do is we trick the Stygian armada into fighting the Raiders of the Eclipse.
Did you shot an arrow at us that we were sitting there mourning at you? We also moon you. Did you hear us complaining about the mooning?
We left a really nasty review on Yelp.
And
actually, this is Hyperborea. Wouldn't it be left a very bad review on Yarg?
Yarg.
Yarg. Just put a little posters on the board, and it's a bad review of the Stygians. And they look at it and it's like, what star?
They're a part of a stupid, smelly country, and their faces look like geese.
No. It's just that we hit the one guy. It just so happens he's like the Black Prince of Stygia. So they'll start hunting us to the end of the world.
Just keep heading west. Well, we're here. So anyways, anything else? Otherwise, I'm gonna assume after the food is on board, you're basically gonna be ready to take off.
Well, yeah, food, and Valena gets back from buying parchment.
Yeah.
Most likely, by the time the food is on board, Valena would have already been back from her quick bit of shopping.
Then yeah, we don't have anything else to do here, so we might as well go.
All right.
We managed to take an entire session to do it.
Took an entire session to sit out of town. All right.
The thing is, I actually intended to do more, but there was no bounty board or anything like that.
Yeah, not particularly. There's not. Things kind of come and go out here.
I do recommend training Keenan for some kind of leadership role with the new recruits.
His best friend is not Kel, it's Kynan.
Kynan, sorry. Kynan.
Yeah, I'm thinking about making the veneer basically our DI equivalent.
He's probably the most combat experienced out of the group of them.
Alright. So actually, if you're planning on taking off, can I get somebody to roll a 1d8?
I'll do it.
Okay.
8. That would mean, okay, the wind, it would be going northwest. So yeah, you start off your stint downriver with the wind behind you. Nicely done.
Except we're going to have to be going southwest, but...
But it's still going to the west, so at least you're getting some of that pull, but it's not going to be as good.
Yeah, we're gonna be tacking slightly.
But it could
That's
be
still-
much
that's
slower
still
and much
looking-
harder going. Yeah.
Oh yeah, good. It could be coming from the southwest, in which case we'd be fighting against the wind, and would have to just go by current alone,
Mm-hmm.
which is a possibility in this river because I'm pretty sure it's flowing to the sea.
Yeah, it is flowing to the sea, but the river itself is not going to carry you there very quickly. You definitely does help to have the wind on your side. And while it's not perfectly on your side, it's enough to at least give you a decent pull, so it's you're moving along decently. I would say from Nippur, if you're going to start leaving like about midday-ish, you can maybe make it to about here by nightfall and possibly to about here by sunrise.
Okay.
So other than that, anything in particular anyone wants to cover while they're on the ship for the last half of the day?
Not really, aside from introducing all the new people to like Roger and Tarthun, who are the other two lieutenants aside from Thelona.
So yeah, you eventually get everyone acquainted with each other. The 9 new guys, including Conan, are introduced to Tarthun, who immediately does spook them a bit because you can tell by just the way he's dressed and the way he presents himself, he's definitely a bit of a magic man too. And Roger, who does kind of sell them more into a laxed seafaring vibe, so they at least know who to look to if they need any help with any particular things. And now these two will also now know who their new crew are.
Whether or not you're gonna actually I'm assuming probably not gonna bother naming the ones.
Most
aside
of them,
from
yeah, I'm
Kynan.
not going to bother naming because trying to remember, I have a hard time remembering all the ones we already have named, and now you forced me to name Kynan.
Yeah, so it's like we got all the named ones.
Every stop you make, I have to make a new one.
We've got the guys that we already had. We got Kynan, and we have what 11 unnamed crewmates now.
Yep,
Because we had
basically.
like 3 unnamed ones that we got before. That was 8 more. That's a pretty decent sized crew now, though.
Yeah. The ship is not having any problems having enough crew operating it, and the lesser crewmates can take more frequent shifts, so they're not up half the night. So yeah, if nothing else is going to happen, I'm going to say you'll pass on to the next day, and you're, roughly towards the middle of the bend, right above where it says river on River Styx on the map.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
To which then I believe, new day means we have to have another roll for where the wind is going.
Somebody else want to do it this time, or should I do it again?
Just do it again.
Do it again, Captain.
Excelsior!
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, if only I had that luck when I'm rolling for damage.
Right? So the wind continues to be more or less in your favor, and actually as you're going to be bending that way in that direction a little bit, it definitely does help a little more this day. So I'm going to say, if you're just under Shalmira, you're probably going to be just passing Luxor by evening. Because you do have the wind more to your back a little bit more often this time, so you're going to have a nice decent sprint.
Yeah, that would probably have people bells, by the way. That would probably have people to bells to station.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what
have
my
everyone
luck.
on ready as they're passing by, yeah. You do see a few ships at Luxor, but as long as you're keeping a fair distance, a fair and friendly distance, they seem to, nobody there at their docks seems to be in a hurry to race after you at the moment. most of their boats are roughly the same size as yours, as they also need to be capable of riding along the river without smashing into everything.
There's no trouble as we pass Luxor.
So yeah, for the moment things are calm.
Might be a good spot to stop because we only got about 5 minutes
Yeah,
left anyhow.
we'll be done in 5 minutes, so we'll do. I assume, yeah, it's gonna be like all hands on deck for a majority of the day. There, just keeping an eye for Luxor, and then keeping an eye on it as they pass by. And by the time it's nightfall, you're past it finally, and now it's just making sure there's the occasional extra eye watching behind you as you continue downriver. And we'll do the next day next time we can play. So thank you everybody for watching. See you all next time.